Hey, what's up, stock compounders? Brad here. So today I want to talk about the concept of a super investor index fund. Now, this concept first came to my attention back, it was a couple of years ago. I was watching one of Monish Pabrai's talks from 2012 at Ivy Business School. Well worth checking out. Quality is terrible. It's like done over Skype, but the content is fantastic. Anyway, Pabrai was in the Q&A section of his talk, and someone asked him about starting a fund. And his advice was basically, just create a cloner fund where you identify, some great investors that you just copy when they buy and you copy when they sell. Turn off your brain. That's the fund, okay? And you'll do very well over time. Now, one of my subscribers, Tony, sent me an email, I think it was maybe this morning or yesterday, bringing this fund to my attention, the WhaleIndex 100, okay? And it's really exactly that. It's a super investor index fund that tracks kind of what leading hedge fund managers are buying and selling. And in the case of the WhaleIndex 100, it has 100 equal weighted stocks in the portfolio. And every quarter it tracks, are these positions being added to by super investors? Are they being sold off? And it rebalances that index, the WhaleIndex 100, every quarter. So, it's a really intriguing concept. I just want to read through a few of these things to kind of describe more about the fund. So it's a long-only fund, so there's no shorting. It's just positive, a thesis where, they think the stock is going to be going up over time. Tracks 100 most commonly held stocks disclosed through 13F filings of consistently successful managers. So let's see. Equal weighted, rebalanced on a quarterly basis. So it says 46 days after the end of each quarter because the 13F filings come out 45 days after the end of each quarter. So, the day after that, that's when this portfolio is rebalanced based on what the super investors did in the last quarter. Right, so there's this proprietary whale score, which determines which managers, which investors they're tracking for this particular index. I'm not familiar with what a whale score is, but it says here, some of the characteristics. You have to have between 5 and 750 holdings in the 13F filing, at least 3 consecutive years of quarterly 13F filings. So you're basically managing over $100 million for at least 3 years. Hold no fewer than 5 stocks in the portfolio. What's interesting about this is Monish Pabrai actually wouldn't be eligible for this tracking index fund, this super investor fund, because he only has 2 stocks in his U.S. portfolio at the moment. Obviously manage more than 100 million. You don't have to submit 13F filings unless you manage more than 100 million in U.S. securities. Hold at least 20% of a portfolio in the top 20 stocks. So it's funny, they frame this in a way that it seems like that would be a concentrated portfolio, but I do not consider that a concentrated portfolio. It's like saying it has 1% of the portfolio in the top 20 ideas. That's at a minimum, obviously, but to me, that is not concentrated at all. So here we go. The top 40 managers who have maintained an average whale score over the past 5 years, higher than the 5-year average, is used in the WhaleIndex. So again, I don't really know everything that goes into the whale score, but 40 managers, I see why The kind of minimum concentration threshold is so low, 20% of the portfolio in top 20 stocks. There aren't 40 managers. I think that you're going to find, certainly not on Dataroma. I don't even think Dataroma has, I don't think it tracks 40 managers. But it would be very hard to find 40 managers who have a more concentrated portfolio than that. So that could be part of why this concentration, standard is fairly loose. So the top 40 managers, that's who they're tracking every quarter. Of course, you definitely want to understand how this whale score is calculated. I wonder also how often these managers are moving in and out of qualification for this. Because as Joel Greenblatt so eloquently laid out in his book, The Little Book That Beats the Market, typically, top managers, that have been the top over the last year, 3 years, 5 years, don't do so well over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, because money tends to chase performance. And when the money in the fund gets inflated, when it balloons, it's much harder to do well. And if you have a bunch of money piling into a fund, you've got to do something with it. You've got to deploy it, and you don't always have good opportunities to do that intelligently. So that's something to consider. So, 100 stocks most commonly held by these 40 managers based on 13Fs. Like I said, 100 stocks is a lot. If I were to take on a cloning portfolio like this of super investors, I definitely wouldn't have 100 stocks. I probably wouldn't have them equal weighted either. I would try to somewhat track, how high of the highest conviction stocks, the stocks that make up the biggest chunk of the portfolio. For these super investors, I'd want to have a little more heavily weighted in the portfolio. So that's a curious thing there. And one of the thoughts I had reading this as well, for a fund like this, trying to attract interest from investors, it's not necessarily in their best interest to make this as simple as possible. Because if it's really simple, people can do it themselves. So, I think some of this complexity might just be artificial complexity. Because someone who doesn't know that much about investing might look at this and think, wow, they're really, this is somewhat complicated. I'm just going to let them do it because I don't think I could do it myself. But from my perspective, I think this is more complicated than it needs to be. So I just wanted to point that out. And WhaleIndex has not only the 100 equal weighted stock index, they have a couple others. They have this 30 stock index, the top 30 holdings. They also have a top 20 index. One thing I thought was interesting, so you look at the performance of the 100 index, and you've got 14.6% annualized. The 30 stock portfolio, 18.2%, so significant jump there. And then if you go to the 20 stock portfolio, you're up to just over 20% annualized. So I thought that was interesting. That, going from 100 stocks down to 20 stocks and your performance is significantly improved. Now, keep in mind, this is very important. This fund has not been going since 2006, as you see the chart here. These are back-tested numbers, okay? I don't know how long this fund has been in operation. But these are not based on actual returns, okay? These are kind of back tested based on the current parameters of how this fund would operate. So, that's a little less exciting because, it's a lot different showing fantastic results with back-tested data versus actually having that track record of real performance. But it's interesting nonetheless. So anyway, guys, I just thought that was interesting. Wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you, Tony, for sending this to me, for making me aware of the WhaleIndex. I think it's a really interesting concept. I think the devil is really in the details with this kind of a portfolio. Having very strict rules around, when you buy, how much is bought, when it's sold, how much is sold. I'm hesitant about the whole rebalancing thing, the whole equal weighted thing, the rebalancing. Because one of the great quotes, I don't remember who it's from, but it really stood out to me. When you're investing and you've got a stock in your portfolio that's doing really well, it's usually not a great idea to trim the flowers to water the weeds, okay? To trim those stocks that are performing best so you can, put some of those profits into stocks that aren't performing as well. It's usually a great idea to, try to identify early what the great businesses are, the great long-term compounders, and leave those alone, right? You don't want to trim those positions necessarily. So I try to incorporate that somehow rather than just doing equal weighted and rebalancing every quarter. But it's interesting to see, some of these back-tested returns. They're pretty compelling. So anyway, I thought you guys might be interested in this. I know a lot of you follow 13F filings. A lot of you are cloners of super investors. So, let me know if you were aware of the WhaleIndex, or if there are any other funds that come to mind in terms of cloning super investors. Let me know. I'd be interested to check those out because I'm really curious about the details of how those funds are set up, particularly because I have a magic formula portfolio. It's a small portfolio, and where I'm buying 5 stocks every 3 months, according to the magic formula by Joel Greenblatt, with some additional filters. And, I really kind of want to dial in the parameters that I'm using for that approach. So I'm not, I don't allow myself to make emotional decisions if anything isn't fully defined. So it's always interesting to me to look at how these funds are structured and the rules, how the rules are defined up front, so we can get out of our own ways emotionally and let the portfolio do its thing. So that's all I got for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, smash that thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.